Back to our NHL draft rankings, coming in at number 35. Keep your head up when this guy's on the ice. It's 6'5" defenseman Adam Kleber from the Lincoln Stars of the USHL.
Ross, I'm glad we're finally covering this player. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed a lot of Sens fans. Anytime we're talking about right shot defenseman, Adam Kleber. When you guys doing Adam Kleber? You got to look at Adam Kleber. So here we are, and this is a guy that is hard to miss on the ice. He's an absolute monster out there. He's a towering defenseman. He's got a heavy shot. He's a Minnesota kid. So you know he's going to be attending a Minnesota school. He's going to be going to Minnesota Duluth next season. But with the Lincoln Stars in the USHL, in 56 games, he had 5 goals, 21 assists, good for 26 points. That's an 18-point improvement on last season with the same amount of games. He had 2 points in 5 playoff games, and there's a lot to like about this player, Ross.
There's so much to like. It starts with the height, weight, and size, reach, and it continues to the ferocity of which he plays. It makes sense he's going to Minnesota Duluth because this guy's a bulldog. The way that he plays out there, he's not afraid to run people over. I see, and look, different players for sure, but he's got that Tyler Kleber in him where you make one mistake out there. If you're a forward coming down in the neutral ice, he will make you pay for it. But I do think in his draft, you're a little bit better touch than what Kleber had. Kleber's obviously developed really nicely from there. But Kleber, what's really interesting is it's the public sphere that's a little bit higher on him than the NHLers. He did not make Bob McKenzie's list in his most recent ranking. So he was an honorable mention in that list for Bob McKenzie. Honorable mention for Scott Wheeler. Chris Peters is the highest on him at 34. Corey Pronman at 35 and Elite Prospects at 46. So that tells me that there might be a couple warts on his game because 6'5" hits, can do some other things really nicely. You'd think that NHL teams would be all over that.
Ross, am I hearing you're already putting a bottom pair on the Sens of Kleber and Kleber together? Is that what I'm gathering here?
I think that would be pretty sweet. The Twin Towers back there. I would. There's worse options for sure. 4 or 5 years from now.
Yeah, it definitely would be a lot of fun. But look, this guy isn't just a big defenseman, but he does things a big defenseman should do very well. He's got that heavy shot. I put in my notes, Ross, he's like Happy Gilmore with his slap shot. I was watching some highlights. Well, it shows you the power. Like he wound up for a slap shot on the power play, missed the net, but the sound of the puck hitting the glass was like a gunshot going off.
Is that goal regulation size or what?
Yeah, exactly. But Ross, he did score on that play moments later as his teammates were like, okay, he's hot right now, feed him the puck, and he snapped it home with a snapshot. So he's got different shot opportunities. He defends with that physical edge. Guys simply cannot push him off the puck in the USHL. Like it's almost like little brother, big brother, when the big brother just puts his hand on the little brother's head and he's just trying to like get at him. That's what it's like. Kleber's just like, you're not going to knock me off this puck here. He skates well for his size, which is an interesting comment from scouts because his size is 6'5", so skates well for his size. Maybe isn't necessarily skates well in all grading categories overall, but skates well for his size. We'll take it. Dauber Prospects mentions that he can break the puck out and defend against the rush. So that's nice to know you've got a bigger physical defenseman that isn't just a klutz when he's handling the puck, right? You can still count on him. If it gets dumped in his corner, he can competently break the puck out and not have teams just keep doing that to try to find a weak spot in the Stars game.
I think that his next season is going to be, well, his next few seasons at Minnesota Duluth are going to be really telling into what his offensive upside is. I think this guy's a high floor player, though, because he's got that almost, I don't want to say guaranteed, but the skating, the size, and the snarl. That to me is you're already a third pair defenseman in the National Hockey League. And it's just about how much offense he can provide. And if it's 20, 30 points at the NHL level, now you're talking about a really important, valuable piece as a top four, maybe a fifth defense who can move up when injuries happen. But I like this player. I think that he fits the prototype. He's obviously a right shot defenseman, which helps what the Senators are interested in. But he's a player where if they took him at 39, that could be a smirk over at each other like, oh, so we're going to be a mean team. Hey, okay. I like that. And I'm curious what your thoughts are for the Senators with Adam Kleber.
Ross, I like Adam Kleber as well. I don't do this very often, but there was a player comparable that jumped at me right away, and hopefully this doesn't go as bad as some of my player comparables have gone on prospect profiles in the past. This guy reminds me a lot of Jamie Oleksiak.
Oh,
Right? The big defenseman, but not just clunky, can be effective with the puck, can put up some points, skates well. And ironically, the Dallas Stars, Kleber plays for the Lincoln Stars, but the Dallas Stars drafted Oleksiak, traded him, and then immediately, I think he was only in Pittsburgh for one full season, and they're like, no, can we get him back? So, like, these are the types of players that teams covet. And I think Kleber is going to be well sought after in the second round. I put in my notes, if the Sens don't take a right-hand shot defenseman in the first round, he would be a great pick at number 39. So I've got Kleber at 4 out of 5 stars, Ross. Sign me up for a 6'5" right-hand shot defenseman.
I think with Kleber, when day 2 starts, that's when he should really, be ready to go. I don't think he's going to be a first rounder, but he could surprise, maybe going higher than some people would think in the second round, despite being an honorable mention on Bob McKenzie's list, which usually signifies that you're probably in the third round or later. But he's the type of player I bet you a scout or two from certain teams are just going to fall in love with, pound the table, and make it known that they want this guy in their organization. If your team just drafted Adam Kleber, you're in for a fun ride. Great player, fun prospect. Adam Kleber coming in at number 35 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings, which will continue right up until the draft. And if you've missed any of our rankings, they are all free and available to you on YouTube.